So I'm gonna make this video plain and simple. Video is gonna expound upon the confusion in which the United States is in right now. I'm gonna explain how it's gotten into confusion and how they got into the confusion and how the confusion is gonna remain. So the confusion stemmed from, I would just say this like this, the slavery aspect. It started from them being caught in their own trap. Just as when it was the South against the North, they fought against themselves because they didn't know what they were going to do about the slaves in which they acquired through the traps in which they set for them. Now, if you look at that, the North and the South is the same division as the American flag. The division is the red and the blue. A red and a blue state, Democratic, Republican, left and right, South and North. It's all the same thing. In that midst of that confusion, it's a division amongst itself. And I bring it forward just like God said, or Jesus said. He said, a house divided can't stand. And even when you go to their, how can I like to say it, their, how can I say it, their Senate or their Congress is divided amongst themselves. Same thing, left and right, Republican, Democrat, left, right, South, North. It breeds confusion. And in the end, that house is not going to stand. For even when they vote, if they even say the House, the Senate, they're gonna vote on this and that, and it's never gonna work. Why? Because it's always confusion. It's the left hand versus the right hand. The left hand is the same beast. Whichever you choose, it's always gonna breed confusion. All right. I'm gonna explain it with the American flag. It's the same thing. Red, white, and blue. When you think about the flag, it's always going to be red, white, and blue. It's never going to be blue, white, and red. It's always red, white, and blue. And in the midst of that red and blue, it's always white. There is no other thing. There's no other race. It's always them confused upon themselves because God caused them to be led into that confusion. All right? No other person can be led into confusion unless they be by God. He will cause a person to fight against themselves, not knowing that they're breeding their own confusion. Same way when they went into Egypt. When Moses went and told Pharaoh, they tried to, like I said, they told them to go ahead and be free. Same thing this country did. Oh, you can be free from slavery, but in reality, they knew that the slaves were not going to be able to be free. Why? Because they had to have some form of, how can I say it? They had to have some form of stability. And that form of stability required that the slave return back to the slave owner. I'm gonna sell myself back into slavery. The same thing people did in the Bible. When Moses freed the people from Pharaoh, they went back into Egypt. Or when they were freed from Pharaoh, after he let them go, he chased it back after them again, in which they were drowned into the Red Sea. And the sea is nothing but a mist of confusion. Okay, but his people were led through the land on dry ground. Why? Because they had God with them. This country likes to say in God we trust, but they even put on their money in which they don't trust. They like to trust in their own arm. Another example out of the Bible, it said, "Cursed is the man that trusts in flesh, make flesh his How can I say? He said, "Cursed is the man that maketh flesh his God, or his hand is on God." When you think about the power of the United States, they always like to call it army. Their own arm is their own. Their own arm is their own. How can I say it? Their own army is their own force in which they use to dictate this entire nation, this entire world. And that's will never stand, because in the end, he said again, the hands of the wicked shall be broken. So through all that mystic confusion, it's just God causing people to fall through their own destruction. After you let these people go free, you come back around and you trap them in another trap. It's like sin upon sin. You lied once, then you lied again. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you get the gist of it. It ain't gonna be no third time, bro. So the same way they came out of this, or Moses came out of Egypt, is the same way these people, or my people, shall be brought forth out of this country. It won't be in a physical water. Well, it will be a physical water, but the water is going to be through the midst of confusion. When in the beginning with Moses, you was walking on solid ground. Now we're going to be going through ships, through spiritual ships, which is your body. You're going to be walking through this water by the grace of God. He said, when you walk through the water, then it shall not overtake thee. They shall not drown thee, for I shall hold thee with my right hand. And I say, though they be united against us, man, just got to give it to the God and let everything else work out its best way possible. I would say it like this: you got some understanding with it. Leave a like, subscribe to me, follow me on IG, and follow me on Twitter. I try to give out as much wisdom as I possibly can. May God bless you. Amen.